There she is. God, look how freaking dirty that is. Look how long that sector shaft is. Holy cow. What's up? I'm out junkyard hopping looking for a steering box for the 4-door diesel Jeep that I'm building. And man, I had to go my favorite spot, the OG Sommers Auto Wrecking. Unfortunately, they are not around anymore, which is a huge bummer because this place was legit, dude. Like, they had all the good stuff. And listen, I'm gonna be honest with you, it was kind of a trash hole. But for whatever reason, they had all the good stuff, man. All the good stuff. This is, I don't know if it was the first junkyard that I ever went to, but it was definitely the first wrecking yard that I got stuff from. This is where I got the Scout axles for the 77 CJ7. My first Jeep is when I swapped Scout axles on it, and this is in 98, 90, probably 99, probably early 90, summer of 99 maybe, I don't know. But this is where I got the Dana 44s front and rear Scout axles, closed knuckle that I swapped onto the CJ7. But man, this place, one time I was out here and they were pulling an engine, no joke. They had a forklift or something that they were lifting. They had the engine, they had unbolted it from everything, and they had it chained up and they were lifting it up, but the engine wouldn't come out, and they were freaking doing one of these, and the car's like dangling from the engine. The guy gets in there and starts cutting wires and hoses, whatever's holding on left. Man, I don't know. It was awesome. But such a trash hole. But dude, I loved it. They had all the good stuff. Man, I don't know everything's gone. I'm gonna see if I can turn this around. I mean, the gate's open. I ain't going back there though. But yes, man, all the stuff was back there. Piles of cars, man. They didn't have them laid out all nice. They had them stacked and stacked, and so you had to dig through it. But man, even if you look inside, I don't know if you can even see inside. You can still see all the the desk is still there, all the papers, like all that stuff on the wall. Man, you can't even see. But man, like, he had it looked, I mean, the guy knew everything he had, and he knew where everything was at, but like, there's stuff all over on the wall, like papers and receipts and titles, like everything was all over the walls in there. And oh man, it was awesome. I'm bummed out that they're not around anymore, because I'm sure they would have had the steering box that I'm looking for. We stopped by Tear Apart already and no luck, just newer stuff. We've got Pick and Pull, like literally right next door, that we're gonna go hit up and see if they got a steering box. And yeah, we'll just keep on the journey. But I just wanted to show a little bit about this hidden gem that's not here anymore, unfortunately. This place, little history there, little Swall Dog history right here. We'll continue on. All right, we're out here at Pick and Pull. It is like trying to find a needle in a haystack. Man, Ford. Listen, I've never been a Ford guy. I've always been a Chevy guy and a Jeep guy. And I've always only used like Saginaw steering boxes and messed with Saginaw stuff, you know? That's what's on the Dodge, that's what's on the Jeeps, I mean, back in the day, you know? But man, Ford, they've had, because the thing with Saginaw, it was always hard to get a forward-facing pitman arm. You had to find like a van and swap the guts out normally. Maybe there was other options to get forward-facing stuff, but Ford's been doing it forever on like everything. All their stuff's forward facing. But what I'm looking for is, it's a forward facing steering box that mounts to the outside of the frame, and it came like on 78, 79 Broncos, I think, and like 76 to 79 F100s and F150s. So, but man, no one has them. I might have to scoop one up, a rebuilt one, because you can get them off of Rock Auto for 230 bucks with a $150 core or something like that. But I did find, so this has got to be late 70s. Let's see if I'm gonna turn it around. Right here. So this is like mid to late 70s. It's gotta be an F250 or an F350, because it's an 8 lug, but it's got almost the steering box that I'm looking for. So it's forward facing, and it's got this is a mess though. I don't even know if I want to pull it, but it's got the long sector shaft, forward facing pitman arm. So you can see it in there. But anyways, I think I'm just gonna pull it because it's cheap. I don't even know what I think they're like 30 bucks or something. I'm just gonna pull it anyways because I want to mess with one, even though I want it outside of the frame mount, and I'll probably still go with outside of the frame mount. Possibly I could do an inside frame mount. I haven't even built the chassis yet, so, but anyways, at least if I can get this one, I'm sure the internals are gonna be similar as far as size-wise. It'd be nice to just be able to have one to take apart and maybe mess with it and just see what the size looks. So let's go get our tools and pull it out. All right, we're in the thick of it. We scooped up this door panel. It's off an Avalanche, but the wife's Tahoe, the handle's busted right here, like something on the inside, so it's like floppy. That looks the same. It's actually, hopefully it works, because that's off the driver's side, but on the rear door, the passenger side door, we need the driver door. So obviously the panel's not gonna work, but I'm hoping the handle that we can rob the pieces off. I think it's worth taking it just to see. But man, I wanted to show you guys. Let me flip this around. So we're gonna pull the steering box off, but Ford had a power steering cooler. Look at these. This is right down here. This is a cooler on the return line for the power steering. Like I'm sure there's some factory systems that have coolers on them, but you know, that's not something you normally see. So I hate to say it, Ford's going up in my book just a little bit. Little, like they're at notch 1 now, okay? That's it. Okay, let's get this pulled off. Here she is. God, look how freaking dirty that is. Look how long that sector shaft is. Holy cow. I couldn't, I cut the pitman arm because I didn't have a wrench. See right there. The way the pitman arm was, it was right up here, right underneath the frame. So I could barely get the socket on it. And I couldn't get a ratchet on it, but I didn't have a wrench big enough, so I said, screw it. I'm gonna hack the pitman arm. There she is. Got the steering box all cleaned up, and while I was at it, I pressure washed a bunch of other stuff from my buddy Ty's Jeep that I'm working on, the skid plate, transfer case, the transmission that we're putting back in it, and man, you could just smell the Moab coming off of those parts, the dust and the oil. I don't know what it was, but it was great. It was great. I was loving it. But steering box is all cleaned up, pressure washed it, and it looks good. But do you know what? I've been messing around with steering boxes and steering systems for 20 plus years, and I'm such an idiot. I didn't even realize, I mean, I knew this steering box wasn't exactly what I wanted because it mounted inside the frame, but I just figured I'd pick it up anyways. But even though it was a forward-facing pitman arm, and I didn't even pick up on this until I was pressure washing it, thinking about it, that even though it had a forward-facing pitman arm, it was mounted behind the axle. I mean, it was a two-wheel drive truck. I mean, it wasn't an actual axle, but the I-beam that the steering that for the front, anyways, it was mounted behind it. So even though it's a forward-facing pitman arm, it turns the wrong direction. So, but it's fine. I could still use it as a core if I wanted to. I'll probably just keep it and throw it in the pile of the 4 or 5 other random steering boxes that I've collected over the years, just for who knows what else. But yeah, you can, I mean, you can even tell, even if it was mounted inside the frame like this and you were turning right and this was facing forward, see, now I'm going left and it's turning right, it's totally spinning the wrong way unless you mounted it behind the axle. That's not gonna work out. The door panel didn't end up working out either for the Tahoe. Total bummer, but I did get the door panel all fixed. I didn't end up using, I just threw away that other door panel because it obviously it didn't work. It was close, but not close enough. So what I ended up doing is just gluing this whole thing back together. But I had to do it in like 10 different steps because there's a plastic piece you can't really see under here, maybe, that was broken. It was broken in so many pieces that I had to glue pieces together to start putting it back together. And then I ended up reinforcing it. I got a piece of square tube. It was like a 1-inch piece of square tubing that I put inside here, cut out some of the plastic to stiffen it up, epoxied it all in there, and then put some new foam on the top. And it's super solid now. So that's all fixed. Didn't end up working out with what we got, but it was only $10 for the door panel anyways. Steering box isn't gonna work out, but it was a fun adventure regardless. Hitting up the wrecking yards, looking around. Still super bummed that Sommers is closed down, but I'm glad that you guys were on this journey with me, checking it out. Glad you guys got to see it. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, you know, give it a thumbs up, like if you want to see more shenanigans like this. And until the next one, go build something cool. Later.